Christianity has spread all over the world, and different forms of Christianity have been introduced, such as Anglican and Protestant. Our journey begins in Rome, where we view an interpretation of the catacombs. The catacombs were an underground location for worship towards God. Christians had to practice their faith underground, otherwise they would be persecuted. The catacombs were also burial sites to brothers and sisters who were persecuted. Within the catacombs, various pieces of ancient Christian art were located, and they can still be found today. The catacombs generally consisted of pebbles and skulls forming a series of tunnels. In our modern society, the catacombs are viewed as a major attraction site in which pilgrims can delve into their faith and explore the evolution of Christianity. The catacombs continued to function as regular cemeteries until the beginning of the 5th century, when the church returned to burying exclusively above ground or in the basilicas dedicated to important martyrs. When the transfer of relics was completed, the catacombs were no longer visited. On the contrary, they were totally abandoned. In the course of time, landslides and vegetation obstructed and hid the entrances to other catacombs, so that the very traces of their existence was lost.
This is the Milvian Bridge, most famous for the most victorious battle of Emperor Constantine. The Battle of the Milvian Bridge took place between the Roman emperors Constantine I and Maxentius. Prior to the battle, Emperor Constantine saw a vision of God promising victory if they painted the sign of Chi-Rho onto the shield. This would lead Constantine to victory.
The Edict of Milan, a proclamation that permanently established religious toleration for Christianity within the Roman Empire, was the outcome of a political agreement concluded in Milan between the Roman emperors Constantine and Licinius in February 313. The proclamation made for the East by Licinius in June 313 granted all persons freedom to worship whatever deity they pleased, assured Christians of legal rights, including the right to organize churches, and directed the prompt return to Christians of confiscated property. Previous edicts of toleration had been short-lived as the regimes that sanctioned them, but this time the edict effectively established religious toleration. A large crowd gathered to witness the calling of the great Constantine, as the people professing the Catholic faith were free to express their religion. Constantine made this call because he believed his improbable victory over Maxentius was the help of the Christian God. The actual letters have never been retrieved.
The Ark of Constantine is located in Rome. It is located between the Colosseum and Palatine Hill. It was dedicated by the Sentinel in 315 AD. The Ark of Constantine shows the victory of Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge in 312 AD for the sole control of the Roman Empire in the West. There are many decorative sculptures on the Ark of Constantine that have been encrypted from other monuments. This is a Christian pilgrimage because it shows the significant events that occurred with Constantine and how he let free the Christians, and telling the empire that they could preach whatever they want and they won't get executed if they preach in another religion. This is shown in the modern world that countries like Australia, France, Germany, United States and much more, that the residents won't be persecuted, so they can preach what they want and they won't get killed for it.
The basilica had started construction in the year 323, and construction was not completed until around the year 360. The basilica was used for over 1,200 years as a holy place of worship. It was later replaced by the new St. Peter's Basilica, which still stands till today. The basilica was demolished so that a sturdier and better quality basilica could be built. On the 15th of April 1506, the new St. Peter's Basilica was built, and it was not until 120 years later when it was finally completed. The new basilica was built and kept few of the original traits, however the original altar was still in the same position. This became a sanctuary and a place in which many people could use to praise the Prince of the Apostles, St. Peter. The place in where the basilica stands today is believed to be the tomb of where St. Peter was buried.
The Crusades are linked to the spread of Christianity because they were fighting for the Holy Land that Emperor Constantine guarded. Within the land, there were delicate relics that were desperately desired by the Christians. These relics obtained religious significance, and Constantine prevented the Christians from worshipping the artifacts. In 1095, Pope Urban called for war against the Muslims who were occupying Jerusalem so then that the city could be regained for the Christian faith. Thousands of European crusaders made the journey on foot through the Middle East to the Holy Land by 1097. More than 10,000 people had gathered to reclaim Jerusalem. In 1099, the capture of Jerusalem began. The Crusades camped outside of the city walls of Jerusalem as they didn't have the machinery to knock down the large walls. However, by dawn, Turkish troops who also wanted to seize Jerusalem approached the Crusaders in their sleep and murdered thousands of Europeans. The Crusaders who survived woke up independent of the Turks until Crusaders came from Europe to help the remaining army. The Crusades eventually broke down the city walls of Jerusalem and killed most of the Muslims, people who previously had control of the Holy Land.